Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and today I have part 4 of my series. If you've been around for a while, then you have probably seen my other videos in this set all about different book series that I have read, series I want to read, that sort of thing. Today is a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 series that I will not be finishing. Probably. I don't ever want to say like I'll completely rule it out, but these are 5 that currently I don't really have any intention of finishing or continuing with in any way. So for whatever reason, these are just series where the first book or books just didn't click with me. They're not ones that I want to spend any more time on, and so that's that. The first one that I want to talk about is a series that I actually put on my book bucket list for this year. It was a series that I wanted to start. I wasn't necessarily intending to finish it by any means, but it was one that I was really interested in starting, trying out, because it does have a lot of hype, and it's one that I feel like I kind of missed out on when I was in, middle or high school and it first came out. And that would be the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra, Clare, and really the entire Shadowhunters Chronicles. This is like a 13 book series at this point, and there are like 4 series within it. So I read the first book back in probably January or February, and it was fine. I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it. Not enough to continue reading 12 plus books. This is one that probably if I had read it around the time it came out, back when I was in like middle or high school, I probably would have really liked it and found myself caught up in the series and like wanting to read them each as they came out. But at this point, my tastes have sort of changed and it's not really anything that I'm interested in. I love the urban fantasy element of it. I think that is a type of fantasy that I'm really drawn to. However, paranormal fantasy is not really something that I enjoy, and I usually don't find myself connecting very well with those types of stories. Not to mention, I found a lot of the characters really irritating and annoying, and I didn't want to spend time with them. Also at this point, I mean, it's been several months, but I don't even really remember anything from it, and I feel like that says a lot. Number 2 is kind of 2 series in one, but they're by the same author, and that is Maggie Stiefvater. So the Raven Cycle and the Wolves of Mercy Falls series. I want to say I think Maggie Stiefvater is a great author. I think she does a really good job building a story and building characters. These first books just didn't really grab me enough to want to continue. The Raven Boys was confusing to me. I feel like I finished it and was just left hanging. Like I felt like there was more to the story that I missed. I was like, did I skip a chapter? What's happening? I don't understand. I literally finished it and was just like speechless kind of. And then Shiver is one that's like lesser talked about. It's lesser known, I think. I happened to listen to this on audiobook, and it was like weird insta love first and foremost that I wasn't super into, but I did think that the play on the werewolf identity or character was really interesting. It was also set in Minnesota, so as a resident of Minnesota, I enjoyed that part of it, but neither one was especially enticing to me. The Raven Cycle I'm more interested in. The Wolves of Mercy Falls, or whatever it's called, I have no interest in continuing with. I didn't really care about the characters as much, and again, it was weird insta love between a girl and a wolf, and it was weird. With the Raven Cycle, there are so many people on BookTube who love it, like it's one of their favorite series of all time. There's also, I don't know, just like a huge fandom surrounding Gansey, one of the characters. So like I'm kind of intrigued by that, but I don't think I would ever just like willingly pick it up on my own. Maybe if I like happen to get an audiobook from my library or something, I don't know. But it's nothing that like wowed me by any means. Third is another very popular series on BookTube, and that is the Illuminae files by Amy Kaufman and Kristoff. I read the first book in this series maybe last December or so, and I didn't hate it. I thought the format was really fun. I do like the sci-fi sort of artificial intelligence aspect to it, but I wasn't really drawn to the story the way that I feel like some other people are. Like some people swear by the series, especially as an audiobook, which is interesting to me because I can't imagine not reading it in physical format. But in the end, I just didn't really care what happens next, and I feel like that's a pretty good indicator that I shouldn't keep reading. I also just did not enjoy the like love story between the main characters. They were just constantly bickering and fighting and annoying each other, but also like super in love, and it was confusing to me, and I just don't like that type of romance. This is one that I'm definitely not going to totally roll out because it's really quick to read through. Just the format in itself makes it pretty easy to get through. The fourth one is another sci-fi series, but it is an adult series, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. You may be confused because in my first series video, I talked about the Red Rising trilogy as one of my favorite series of all time, which is still true. However, Pierce Brown, the author, has decided to continue the story with a new trilogy or a new set of books, and I originally was like, yep, on board, I will read more of this story. But the more that I thought about it, and the longer I had the new book checked out from the library and it went unread sitting on my shelf, I realized that I am fine with the Red Rising series ending the way it did. It wrapped up. Like, there were some loose ends, but in like a good way. There wasn't any like, there's no need to continue with the series. We have our ending, we know what happens. I don't see the need to continue. I've also heard some mixed reviews on it. I feel like some people liked it and a lot of people thought it was pretty mediocre. It's also a massive book, Iron Gold, the new one. Like, the other 3 books are pretty standard length. They're like, you know, 300 to 400 pages maybe. This one's like 6 or 7, and that just, I don't know, seems intimidating to me, and I'm already like wary of reading it. And so when then you tack on the fact that it is 700 pages, it just like it's a no for me. The last one, number 5. This is one that I'm like most nervous to say that I will never keep reading because I actually did hate the first book. Like, the others, they were all just like fine. But that is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I shouldn't say I hated this book, but I really didn't like it. This one just doesn't work for me. I mean, I understand, like, if I had read this in high school, maybe I would have liked it more, and now as an adult my tastes have just changed and this isn't the right book for me. But I just didn't like the love story. I thought both like love interests were really mediocre and boring, and then I didn't like Laura Jean as a main character. She was confusing to me. There were some parts of her character that felt incredibly immature, and then some that felt like she had like old lady interests and qualities and tendencies, and I was just very confused by that. The biggest thing that annoyed me is that she is 16, 17 years old and she still calls her parents mommy and daddy. I can't do it. Additionally, I felt like the twist of like how the letters get out into the world, incredibly predictable. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a mystery, but that was not a surprise at all, and I felt like, I don't know, I wanted that to be more, like, when I heard the synopsis I was like, ooh, are we gonna spend the story trying to figure out how the heck this happened? No, I knew right away. I feel like it was just, that wasn't satisfying. However, I would definitely recommend the movie. I feel like the movie is better than the book, and I feel like I'm in the minority when I say that, and I would watch the other 2 books as movies if they decide to make them. So if Netflix is planning that, I'm on board, I'll watch them, but I just have absolutely no interest in reading the next 2 books, especially because it doesn't seem like it needs any more elaboration. Like, we're good, again, there's an ending, it's fine, whatever. But I gave this book 2 stars. I really didn't like it, and that's my unpopular opinion. Okay, everyone, that is everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like any of these series are ones that I should give another chance because you think as a reader I would actually like the rest of the series, or if you have any strong, compelling arguments, you can certainly leave them in the comments and I will probably ignore it. No, I'm kidding. Please let me know. But yes, definitely leave me some comments for series that you won't be continuing or ones that you just felt were underwhelming, as I would love to hear your thoughts. You can also find the links to all of my social media accounts in the description box if you would like to chat with me there. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my next video. But until then, happy reading. Bye.